My experience of Harry and Meghan, whenever I have been with them, is of a couple who are very, very close, a sort of spark between them that always struck me as being very authentic. However, there have been rumours circulating in recent months that the fallout from Spare, which was pretty epic for Prince Harry, you know, he had Britain really turn against him, his home country's really not very welcome here. It's left a bad taste in people's mouths. It's further alienated him from his friends and his family. And I think inevitably that has put a strain on them. And I think it was very notable that in the run-up to the launch of his autobiography and all of the publicity, Meghan was notable by her absence. And that was really the first time we'd seen a divide between them, because up until then they'd very much been a partnership. And then at this crucial moment where Harry's probably doing the boldest and possibly bravest thing of his life, she's not there for him. And that has continued. It has led to more rumours of a split, of a split being on the horizon. And, you know, you only need to look at the US tabloid magazines to see that that is, you know, a long-running story. As yet, there is no evidence, and they're presenting a very united front. I think these are challenging times for the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. Of course, they retained their royal titles. You can't take the fact that Prince Harry is a blood-born prince away from him. However, I think people have been watching this couple very closely. Let's rewind a little bit to Megxit and to that period where they said they were leaving to start a new life, to essentially start philanthropic lifestyle and build this big philanthropic empire, and it was all based around Archewell. And I think people have been left wondering where the philanthropy is, because the deals have been big dollar deals, very financially driven, and it does all seem to be a bit of a money-making exercise. And so when you look at it in terms of a business, in the first year, they were incredibly successful. They signed a multi-million-dollar deal with Netflix, a multi-million-dollar deal with Spotify, but these have sort of run their course, and there is a sense that they have exhausted their narrative, which has essentially been attacking the royal family, explaining why they left, explaining why they felt driven out of Britain. And I think we're at a really pivotal and important point for them where the big question is, what next? You said you wanted to become global philanthropists, to become humanitarians. When are we going to see the evidence of this? In terms of their next move, I think the world is watching very closely, because I think there had been an expectation, particularly when you consider Prince Harry and all of his charitable work. I mean, he hasn't been back to Lesotho to do anything with Sentebale, his charity, ironically called Forget Me Not, with Meghan for years. And so I think there is a big question mark about what next? What are they going to do? The reality is, I think while many people want to see them do the charity work and use their global spotlight for the causes that they care about, the reality is that actually they do have to make money. They've got a big mortgage, they have very expensive lifestyles, they have to fund their own security. So money making has to be an element of what they need to do. And in fairness to the Sussexes, when they left, they said part of the reason that they wanted to leave was to become financially independent. I think the problem for many people is there's been too much emphasis on the financial side and not enough on the charity work. The royal family has to move on. It has to continue to evolve and regenerate and put on, you know, a good show for people. And so the idea of this rift at the heart of the royal family was really very damaging for the House of Windsor. So there has been, I think, a drive and a determination on the parts of senior members of the royal family to move on from it. And I think it was a great show of love and support from Charles to Harry in inviting him to the coronation. I think it was very magnanimous of Charles. It was Harry's decision not to be there. And I think really from that moment onwards, there was a sense of the royal family really stepping back. You know, making such an effort, I think, is probably not going to be a theme for the future.